Why did you say 7:30? Wait there, why did you say 7:30
Yeah, but-
when you roll here at 8 o'clock?
Yeah, but it's one, it's not 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
2, I gave you the heads up, so don't mug me off.
Yeah, but you said you'd be here at 1:45.
Yeah, well, it's 5 to.
I just...
Some of us were up all night working.
Well, yeah? What,
Yeah,
making
was it?
deals?
I was actually, yeah.
What deal?
Got some great news for Tony Bellew coming.
Have you told him?
Yeah, you saw his tweet last night, didn't you?
Yeah.
So then why are you asking?
Oh, I'm just saying.
I'll get a show on the road or what?
Yeah, what I thought would be interesting today, because I've interviewed you quite a lot in the last few days, is if we document our day and you can talk to me like, you know, while we're going along basically.
Don't get his code.
Alright.
Lads! I've been outside for 10 minutes, come on, what's going on? God, blimey.
This is actually what he looks like in the morning.
What? Yeah, I know, it's a mess, isn't it?
So tell me about this Tony Bellew thing.
You still rolling?
Yeah.
I can't tell you.
What?
It's just things are progressing nicely, that's all.
Have we got a date?
No,
Oh, okay.
but put it this way. It's happening.
Oh.
So,
Oh. Alright, Ed.
alright, mate.
Where are we, Ed?
We're down the M6 at the minute. I would say we're about 50 minutes. About 50 minutes away from Manchester,
Yeah.
which is good timing. Get there about 11:45. Press conference starts at 12:30.
There's no Gavin Rees today at the press conference, Ed.
Correct, yeah.
Just personal reasons?
Yeah, I mean, Gavin's got a situation where he has to look after his daughter, and he's got to pick her up from school today, and obviously he spent a lot of time away. He was at the press conference here last week as well, so he's also making weight. So I spoke to him last night, and I excused him.
Okay.
So obviously the main focus being up here is the Manchester fighters, Crolla, Quigg, Rose, and your new idea of doing something a little bit quirky with Paul Smith and Tony Dodson.
Yeah.
A little face
Yeah,
off.
we'll see if we can get them in the same clip. They might not want to do it though.
Well, they will, I'll tell them.
But they're not your fighters, they don't have to listen to you, do they, really?
I don't think that'd be wise.
Well, what would you do at a day's notice?
But fair's fair, isn't it?
I know. Listen, they're probably big names.
Everyone's got an obligation to sell a fight, haven't they?
Did you watch the press conference from the Box Nation press conference yesterday?
No. I saw a few photos.
And what's your response? Not response, but because it's not really nothing to do with you, is it? But just your.
I mean, it's an obvious. I mean, look, the announcement was that the link up with Ricky Hatton and Barry McGuigan. I know the Barry McGuigan one was announced a couple of weeks ago. Barry's got one fighter and Ricky's got a few. He's good, look, it's obviously them pulling together to, 4 or 5 promoters pulling together to try and take me on. And it's great.
Yeah, but do you think they specifically do it to take you on?
Of course.
Yeah.
Also, and they've got no options. So, you've got to think that people like Ricky Hatton have been pitching to broadcasters for over a year and not had any success. So, they've gone to Box Nation. It's great, because that's, you say that you think they've done it to take you on. Have you heard the interviews? I mean, they're very Eddie Hearn and Sky specific, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, are they?
I've seen a couple.
Yeah, and what would you think?
Yeah, I suppose there's a slight element of that, but
Yeah, but listen, it's all right. I mean, it's quite. I find it quite flattering. But people should know that just because promoters are working on the same channel doesn't mean that fights are going to get delivered. Do you know what I mean? It's not. You've got an obligation to do the right thing for your fighter. So it's not just, well, let's just make that fight because it's good for the channel.
So if they're all sort of in one basket under one banner, does that mean it's unlikely that you could put fights on alongside those promoters that are under that Box Nation stable now? If you wanted to make, for example, a fight with Martin Murray now for one of your fighters, does that make that more difficult?
Martin Murray tweeted, apparently I'm on Box Nation now, first I've heard of it. So I don't think, you've got to understand the fighters aren't signed to Box Nation, the promoters are. So the fighters, don't have to box on Box Nation, they can box on Sky wherever they want. But I'm not party to the contract, but I think he's good. I mean, it's exciting. It's good fun.
But you generally think this is all done because of you and take you on, not just them doing their own thing?
I think it's done because of the situation, not because of me. I think it's done because of the situation, and the situation is we've got a huge stable, by far the most, by far the strongest and most powerful in the UK, and people had to do something and act, and this is what's come out of it. So, and like I explained to you yesterday, there's no monopoly in boxing. I'm Sky's chosen promoter. It's an absolute honour. Mick Hennessy is Channel 5's chosen promoter, and then the others are on Box Nation. So
it is what it is.
It is what it is, baby. It is what it is.
Alright, you can go back to sleep now, Ed. We'll
Thanks, mate.
pick it up in a little while.
We're in the Midland Hotel in Manchester. It's now 10 to 12, waiting the arrival of the fighters. William Prado's there, Scott Quigg's opponent. Scott Quigg is also in the building. And good journey.
Have you gone for the sexy look today, Ed?
What, because I got a button undone?
Yeah.
No, I don't do sexy.
No.
Just do fat and old. I used to be quite hot, back in the day. Probably 12 years ago.
When you were the hitman.
That's the one.
Your mates told me all about you at school. I don't know their names. If they're watching this video, a couple of your pals.
Well, because of Thomas the Hitman Hearns, that was my nickname at school.
What, because you look like him?
Yes. No, because I could fight like him.
Really?
No.
It's a bit of a strange setup here, isn't it?
It is, a very tight room. I mean, we're supposed to have the banner around this way, but obviously it's a bit big and we've got a lot of fighters here, so we're a bit narrow in the room today.
Okay. Well, tell us something about Bellew then. Come on, give us something. I know we saw that tweet yesterday.
Just that the WBC have ordered that they sent the letters out last night to say...
So his next fight will be that?
Correct. And it will go to purse bids if we can't agree terms. So, all this talk of I might fight him, or, he might do this. No, he'll fight Tony Bellew.
Can you get that fight here?
We'll try, but, HBO are very interested in Adonis Stevenson now, so it's going to be difficult to make the fight in the UK.
I don't suppose Tony really cares though, does he?
No. Obviously prefer it here, but, So, very happy now because, and I really appreciate the WBC support on it because, we've had 2 final eliminators. And whilst I enjoyed having 2 final eliminators rather than 1, because I love a final eliminator, Cook. Yeah. I'm pleased that WBC have sent those letters out saying, no, this is your mandatory and this is who you face next.
I know people knock you for these final eliminators, but...
Yeah, but and then everyone knocks me, and then then when Carl Frampton had the interview recently, they said, we're going to have an eliminator, then a final eliminator, then fight for a world title. It's the right route. Eliminators aren't so important. Eliminator is more of a marketing tool, because any fight can be an eliminator, really. But final eliminator for the mandatory position.
That's the key word, the final bit.
Final.
That's what
final
really gets you going, isn't it?
The word mandatory really turns me on. Really turns me on.
What about the words no strings?
No strings?
Yeah. You use that a lot.
Do I?
Yeah.
I don't.
You do.
I never say that.
You lying bastard. You always say, No strings, no options.
No options. I always say no options. Strings isn't a word I use.
No?
No, strings.
Yours.
What about Joe over there, talking about how harsh you are to me these days?
Joe,
Earlier.
Joe, come in.
Come on, Joe.
Come in, Joe. You got.
Oh,
This is Joe Forbes. He's our super agent. Joe, tell him what you said.
Yes.
I think he's very hard on interviews to Matchroom,
Yeah.
which is Eddie Hearn,
Yeah.
and I think you should be harder on the other people too, the other sides.
Okay.
Why aren't you?
What? Anyone specifically?
No, I won't mention any names. There's plenty of others.
It's just a different type of interview with me, isn't it?
I think,
Than any, it's like
I think
you're very.
Yeah, but you're more open to this sort of interview, aren't you, Eddie? You know, I'm people's person.
What are you saying? I've got less secrets.
I'm not saying you have got secrets.
I've got less to hide.
I'm not saying that. Just saying you're more open to these type of interviews.
Well, what?
You know, bring
More
it
honest.
on. No, just thrive off that, didn't you? People's
Thrive
person.
off
I'll
honesty.
answer anything and all that.
I will answer anything. I won't block you on Twitter because you asked me a question.
Whoa,
Oh.
that didn't happen, did it?
That's a lie because you do block people, don't
No, one person in my life.
you? Oh. So do you think I should be nicer to him?
I'm sorry?
Do you think I should be nicer
No,
to
we
him?
just
in
want a
interviews?
level playing field, don't we, Joe?
Correct,
So, alright, so
correct.
shall I go?
It's just level.
So do it at the level I do all the others then, with you then?
That would be boring because with the others,
Why are you
You've-
worried
you-
about the other promoters though?
I'm not. I just want a level playing field.
No,
a
but-
lot of people are talking about it on Twitter. Cooch.
They can
You've-
talk about it.
No, but because you,
enough.
you need to gain respect as an interviewer, you know, and you can't just be this one way here and then other way here and oh, it's so great to see you. Oh,
But he wasn't the one who made the comment anyway, it was me.
yeah.
I just
No,
thought
he's
you were
made
very
these comments
harsh.
regardless.
No. I made the comments anyway. I saw the interview, your last interview, and I thought you were very, very hard on him compared to other people.
Well, that's how it's going to be, John. Unfortunately, you know.
Well, I think we might have to stop interviews like this. I think it's the only way to do it.
Well, that's not a problem for me.
It is.
Well,
What
it's
about your
true.
500 quid a week? What are you going to do with that?
I don't know.
Sausage and chips, remember?
Yeah, ham, egg and chips.
Ham, egg and chips. Have you got a problem with ham, egg and chips?
No, I haven't. It's all right. I'll eat them when I have to.
Mind you, me and you have had a couple of chicken breasts before together at the table, haven't we, Joe?
That's another story, isn't it?
Correct. Can I leave the interview now?
Yeah,
You
thanks.
may, you may. Thank you for your input, Joe.
Thank
we know
you.
what side you're batting for, so
Always.
always,
Mr. Hearn, they pay my bills.
obviously.
Thank you.
Nice to have people on side, isn't it?
It's all right. Well,
Team match room and all that bollocks.
it's more of a family than a team.
But you sort of claim that you give me £500, but then you claim I'm not in your team. So how does that work? If you're paying me £500 a week, would I not be in the
Because
team?
you're like you're a whore, aren't you? I pay you for your services, not for your loyalty.
media whore.
You are a media whore.
Yeah.
500 quid here. You're probably taking money from elsewhere as well. You're probably on about £5 a week at the minute. In fact, you might as well play in the Championship. Although I've seen you play football.
What?
I can play a bit.
6 passes.
Oh, what? All completed.
Yeah, all completed.
They all went a yard.
Yeah. Should we talk about your miss again then,
It's
shall
all
we?
right. See how I run up the other end. It's impressive. All right.
All right. We'll pick it up after your press conference.
Looking forward to your new style interview today.
All right. I just.
No, not with me. With the whole thing we're going to do with.
All right. Yeah. You need to set that up, by the way.
Okay.
We'll tell them. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Cheers.
All right.
Right, mate.
Oh, look,
People are going to start getting bored of our interviews, you know that. I had a couple of comments on Twitter yesterday saying that, all I tend to see is your interviews.
so what are you saying?
Maybe we should tone it down a little bit.
Do you want to tone it down or stop doing them?
No, don't stop doing it, just tone it down a little bit.
But how can we tone it down? What? Do 5 minutes instead of 35?
Yeah, this should be a quick one.
This is a quick one
Okay.
because I've followed you about. I've not followed you about, but
You have followed me, right?
Do you like being followed about?
Not particularly.
Okay.
Not by people that look like you.
Okay. Rees against Crolla. You said something interesting in the press conference that the winner, specifically, you said if it was Crolla that won, could be.
Yeah, I just feel that Crolla beating Reese would be such a huge performance that it might warrant a shot at Burns. Perhaps quicker than Burns beating Crolla because people might want Burns to have another fight to prove he's ready for Burns, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I just think that Crawler's a big underdog in the fight. I think he's actually got a great chance, but I think a victory over Burns would be really impressive.
Reese.
Yeah. It's a bit confusing
It's been a
now.
long day.
It is a long day. It's been a long week.
So if Crawler was to win, would you look to make that fight happen when?
November, December. I might, I'm going to box Ricky obviously on September 7th against Beltran in Scotland. I might add him to the Froch undercard in November, December, depending on where that is.
Okay. Tony Dodson, Paul Smith, a bit heated at the end
Was.
there. So, general rivalry between the two.
Yeah.
Grudge.
Or genuine. Probably not general.
Genuine.
Yeah. Not really
Genuine or a general rivalry?
Genuine rival.
General.
Right. Basically, look, they've fought each other before. They've both been on a really hard camp. They're both from the same area. They both know people that know people. They both like people that don't like people. So it's going to get heated. And tomorrow at the weigh-in, it's going to get really heated. But for that one, I've got no action in either fight. I can just sit there and enjoy a great British domestic tear-up. I'm really looking forward to that one.
Did you say they're both people that know people?
They're both people that know people.
Are
Who
you-
know it. They're
Are
both.
you,
They're both. They're both people that know people who know each other.
are you someone that knows people?
I'm someone that knows people.
Do you know people?
I know people. Do you know people?
I know people that know people.
Oh, shut up.
Can you discipline your staff?
What, Richie Rich? Anyway, carry on.
You kind of forgot Anthony Collar today in the press conference.
Yes. Well, Gavin wasn't there obviously, so I was wrapping up and forgot we hadn't heard from $1 Million. So I styled it out there.
Do you want to apologise to him on camera?
Sorry, Ant. I've already
I
apologised.
think Joe Gallagher won that press conference today.
He's a great talker, isn't he? I said
You
when
should
he
have got him
packs up
sitting
the training, he's got a job for me, promoting.
You've
Got
added
3 fighters on the bill, 3 big fights.
Got 2 fighters the night before. He's a busy boy this weekend. You've added Wadi Camacho to the bill.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, can you? Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Prize fighter champ. Yeah, we just added him. We had a fight fall through, so I've added Wadi. So he'll be probably floating on the TV float, just getting out before a big fight in September.
It's been going off between him and Simo.
I'd like to make that fight. I mean, the only thing you got to think about that fight is Wadi'd probably be looking for a big fight in London. It's unusual for like when 2 prospects are at that stage for one to go to the other one's backyard, because I'm kind of building them both up in their own areas. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it depends. I'll definitely offer it to Wadi. But I've also got a big fight for him in September in London. So I think maybe it's 6 months away, that fight, or maybe we do it in the next Burns fight in November, December if we do it in Scotland.
Okay. Brian Rose also on the bill.
Yeah.
Against Ribchev.
Yeah.
Got big plans for Brian this year.
Yeah, I just wanted to get him out one more time before September. He boxed in April. April to September is too long to be out, so just getting him out in a 10 round against Ribchev, who's tough, quite limited, beat Matthew Hall. But I want Brian to step on the gas and look very good, and then get him in a big fight in September.
Okay. How many fights are on the bill?
No, more than that. It's alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, 8.
Really?
Yeah. We've got Wadi Camacho, we've got Dale Evans, we've got Eric Ocheng, we've got Tom Stalker, we've got Brian Rose, we've got Scott
Hi,
Quigg,
Sandy,
we've got
it's
Tony Dodson, we've got Gavin Rees.
How you doing, mate? You alright?
8.
Have you got a date for
I'm just reading it.
Ocheng and Smith?
21st of September.
10 ounce long
Where?
Sheffield Arena.
Sheffield Arena. Something to do with Kelbrook?
10.
Yep.
10 ounce, yeah. For,
Well,
just you.
all due respect to Smith and Ocheng, they're not headlining at Sheffield Arena.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they'll be a part of a huge night.
An 8
Kelbrook
ounce.
Possible
Maxi,
Brook
you
versus
got-
Mosley?
Not really. Mosley wants too much money.
Okay.
Lonzo, yeah.
Be a big name though?
Yeah, has to be.
It has to be.
The 8 ounce, 2 8.
Pressure's on me.
Lonsdale.
People don't slag you off.
I've got to pull out the stops these days.
I know.
Cheers,
Everyone's
Thanks,
against you, aren't
To
all right.
Love
I
it,
like
don't
it.
you?
I love it. I love it.
You've named this show wrong, haven't you?
Rock and Crow.
It's not Rock and Crow. It should be Rock and Crow, shouldn't it?
This is Stockholm trying to be living as please.
It's rock and roll. It's not
Yeah, but
rock
it-
and roll.
No, but there's no such thing as rock and roll. It's rock and roll. I think you'll find
Yeah,
I'm right on
but
this one.
it's not rock and crow. It's rock at that one. Ampersand. It's an ampersand, for God's sake. For God's sake, it's an ampersand. I mean, can't you see? Oh, Richie, calm down.
It's all going off. It's all going off.
This is meant to be first class.
Yeah, it's definitely an ampersand. What's that?
Do you know what? Should I sum up
Oh,
the
no.
last 2 days for us?
Go on then.
Trains, planes, and automobiles.
Oh,
You
very
like that,
good,
didn't you?
Coogan. Very
You
good.
like that,
Yeah,
didn't you?
yes, wanker.
You do that. Got any more pictures of me with me cock out or me mouth open?
No,
or-
you're still sulking
We'll be
about that
able to
one.
see it.
Did I sulk about it once?
Well, I'm going to get you back.
Oh, well, I'll get you back. Do you value your staff, the ones you're with?
Well, obviously, because we're in first class, aren't we?
Yeah, but I'm in first class. That's not saying
True,
anything.
true.
isn't
No,
it? So-
YouTube didn't.
Yeah, but you're not coming to Nobu and the Slazenger party.
You ain't got a first class ticket, have you?
I got a
First class ticket.
to. Yeah, I'm not invited, and even if I was invited now, I would come.
Yeah. Richie Rich never sorted it out.
How comes he's got all the power with inviting people and shit?
Because he pretends he's Macaulay Culkin.
All right, Frank.
Hi, Coogan. How you doing?
Yeah.
I think they only let real media in. It's a problem.
So there is media going.
Yeah, all the top media will be
All
there.
the top media, everyone. All the top stars, tennis players, everyone.
Oh,
All of
okay.
Former child film stars, a lot.
Yeah.
cocaine.
He was unbelievable in Home Alone 7.
Can we talk about your new signing?
If you want.
No, you don't want to do it.
Well, what do you want to know?
When's he being announced?
How do you know it's a he?
When's he being
I
announced?
don't know. It could be next week, could be 2 or 3 weeks.
This one's big. They're all big, but
This won't be, motherfucker.
this is big.
This is big. They're all big. There's a few. I've only just told you about one.
No, but
Yeah, you're right.
yeah, it's good.
Good. What?
All right. Well, listen, I'm going to cut this. Still runs 10 minutes.
Coogan Cassius, please remove yourself from first class.
Welcome to
Ryan,
customers joining us at Stoke-on-Trent.
Stoke-on-Trent. Lovely. Should have got off on Stoke-on-Trent.
Trains to London Euston.
Named Phil
Our
Taylor.
estimated time of arrival into Milton Keynes is 16:10. Estimated time of arrival to London Euston is 16:40.
Phil Taylor. and
First
Robbie
class
Williams.
is towards the front of the train, second class is towards the rear. Shop is provided in
It's
Coxie.
quality this kid, isn't it? What about he goes, I'm sorry for the
It's
slight
that
delay.
geezer from-
Actually,
Our
it
next
wasn't a
station
slight
call
delay.
is Milton Keynes Central at 16:10. Thank you.
Oh, Mr.
Right.
Mr. What is it?
Hello.